Once upon a time, a great king and a beautiful queen lived in the green valleys. But one day, the king passed away suddenly. The poor queen had to leave the palace and move into a small, simple house with her three beautiful daughters. They decorated their house beautifully. A stream flowed just outside their home. They adorned the house with vines and flowering plants and planted a large strawberry field. By selling the strawberries at good prices, they were able to live a better life. One morning, the eldest daughter noticed that a large portion of their strawberries was missing from the garden. This surprised and worried her. She wondered how this could have happened. Was it the work of an animal, or had a thief sneaked into their garden? She quickly informed her mother and sisters about the situation. The others rushed to the garden, discussing the mysterious incident. Everyone was puzzled. How could this have happened? Finally, the eldest daughter decided she would stay up that night to keep watch and uncover the mystery. The family agreed with her plan. As the night deepened, silence enveloped everything, and the moon shone brightly in the sky. The eldest daughter wrapped herself in a blanket and sat in a corner of the garden, waiting. She hadn't waited long when a huge genie leaped over the garden fence and entered the strawberry patch. He walked straight to the lush red strawberries, pulled out a large knife, and began cutting them, filling his enormous basket. While he was busy filling his basket, the eldest daughter mustered her courage, approached him, and asked, "Why are you taking our strawberries?" But instead of answering, the genie grabbed her and tossed her into the basket along with the strawberries. Then, taking massive strides, he ran away. The genie's palace was high in the sky, among the clouds. When he arrived, he emptied his basket onto the floor. Along with the strawberries, a frightened and disheveled girl fell out. Before she could say anything, the genie glared at her angrily and said, "Listen, girl, you must do exactly as I say. You will take my cow to graze on the hill. Then you must shear wool, wash it, separate the threads, comb it, and weave it into cloth for me. If you fail, remember, the consequences will be dire." With that, the genie left his palace and disappeared into the depths of the forest. Terrified of the genie, the girl did as she was told. She took the old cow to graze on the hill. When she returned, feeling hungry, she placed a pot on the stove and started cooking soup for herself. As she sat down to eat a bowl of soup, she suddenly found herself surrounded by a crowd of tiny dwarves with red hair. They all shouted at her, begging for soup. The princess looked at the little dwarves disdainfully and said mockingly, "Not a single grain is for you." Hearing this, the tiny dwarves vanished, and the princess happily ate her soup. But when she began working on the wool, she realized she couldn't complete the task. No matter how hard she tried, she failed to finish the genie's work. When the genie returned and found her work incomplete, he roared in anger and threw her into the chicken coop as punishment. Back at the queen's small home, everyone was worried, wondering where the eldest daughter had disappeared to. They decided that the second daughter would guard the strawberry field the following night. As the night deepened and the soft light of the moon began to glow, the second daughter took her blanket and sat near the field. Suddenly, from far away, the sound of heavy footsteps echoed. The ground trembled as if an earthquake had struck. It was the genie, approaching with his massive heavy frame, entering the field through the fence. His footsteps shook the earth, and his deep, heavy breathing echoed through the air. Without delay, he began tearing strawberries with incredible speed. When the second daughter tried to stop him, the genie grabbed her and tossed her into his enormous basket. Then, carrying the basket, he ran back to his palace. Upon reaching his sky-high palace, the genie dumped the basket onto the ground. The second daughter tumbled out along with the strawberries. The genie sternly warned her, "You will take my cow to graze on the lush green hill and then create beautiful fabric from the wool. If you fail to do this, you will face severe consequences." As the genie left his palace and disappeared into the depths of the forest, the second daughter, trembling with fear, took the cow to the hill to graze. When she returned, she prepared soup for herself. As soon as she sat down to eat, the red-haired dwarves surrounded her, begging for some soup. The girl looked at them disdainfully and told them to go away. The dwarves vanished into thin air, leaving her to enjoy her soup. However, when she began working on the wool, she realized she couldn't complete the task. No matter how hard she tried, she was unable to wash, untangle, comb, or spin the wool as required. When the genie returned and found her work incomplete, he roared with anger and threw her into the chicken coop alongside her sister. There, the two sisters remained trapped, unable to escape. The youngest daughter was the only one left with the queen. This brave girl went to her mother and offered to keep watch over the strawberry field that night to discover what had happened to her sisters. Initially, the queen hesitated, unwilling to put her last daughter in harm's way. However, seeing her daughter's determination and persistence, the queen reluctantly gave her permission. The girl took her blanket, gathered her courage, and went to the strawberry field to stand guard. The night grew deeper, and darkness enveloped the surroundings in an eerie stillness. As the night deepened, the sound of heavy footsteps echoed from afar. A genie entered the field, crossing the fence with ease and tearing through the strawberries swiftly. The youngest daughter was startled by the sight. Before she could react, the genie grabbed her and tossed her into his basket, taking her to his palace, just as he had with her sisters. When the genie returned to his grand hall, he took the girl out of the basket and gave her the same instructions he had given her sisters. The young girl listened carefully and nodded without protest. The genie then left the hall, disappearing into the depths of the forest. As soon as the genie's heavy footsteps faded into the distance, the youngest daughter got to work. She led the old cow to lush green pastures so it could graze to its heart's content. When she returned, she was hungry and quickly prepared soup to fill her stomach. However, as soon as she poured the warm soup into her bowl and was about to take the first bite, a commotion erupted in the room. Little red-haired dwarves appeared in groups, their tiny hands reaching for her bowl with gleaming eyes. Each dwarf begged, "Give us some too, give us a little to eat." The girl shared her soup with them. Once the dwarves had eaten their fill and left, one lingered behind. "If you have work for me, give it to me," the dwarf offered. "But I won't be able to pay you for it because I have nothing." "I won't ask for any payment," the dwarf replied. "Very well," the dwarf said. "But if, upon my return, you can guess my name, I will tell you where your sisters are." The dwarf took some wool from her and disappeared into the night. That very night, a beggar woman knocked on the door, her voice faint with exhaustion. "Let me stay here for one night," she pleaded. "I am weary and hungry." The princess led the beggar woman outside, behind the trees for safety, and offered her soup. "This palace is not mine," the girl warned. "It belongs to a genie. If he sees you, neither of us will survive." "Have you seen red-haired dwarves?" the princess asked. "They are strange creatures who appear suddenly and always demand something." "No, I have never seen such beings." "Thank you for your kindness," the beggar woman said. The beggar woman headed towards the mountain in search of a place to rest. At the mountain's peak, she found a cave with a small glowing opening. She entered into it. She found the place very comfortable to sleep. She found a glowing crack inside the cave. Peering inside, she saw an astonishing sight. Countless little dwarves were bustling with energy, washing wool, sorting it, and spinning it on their wheels. In the back of the cave, a tiny red-haired dwarf was directing them, humming a cheerful tune. "My name is Peary Fool. I spin wool. That's my rule." The beggar woman quickly left the cave and rushed back to inform the princess of what she had learned. She informed the princess about all what she saw. The next morning, the dwarf returned, carrying rolls of colorful, beautiful cloth. "Now tell me, princess," he challenged, "what is my name?" I believe your name is Piri Fool, the princess said with a smile. The dwarf admitted defeat and revealed that her sisters were trapped in the chicken coop. The youngest daughter finally found her sisters. That night, the three sisters devised an escape plan. They filled a basket with precious jewels, covering it with grass to avoid suspicion. When the genie returned in the morning and saw the exquisite cloth, he was impressed. I also prepared a gift for my mother, the princess said kindly. A basket of fresh grass for her cow. The grass in her area has withered, and she's been worried. The genie, pleased with her diligence, agreed to take the basket of grass to her mother the next morning. The three sisters hid beneath the grass in the basket. When the giant woke up in the morning, he remembered the task the girl had assigned him. He got up immediately and headed outside. Near the door, he found the basket filled with grass. The genie picked up the basket and made his way to the girl's mother's cottage. Upon reaching there, the genie told her that this gift was sent by her youngest daughter and that she was under his care. Hearing this, the mother became worried and quickly devised a plan. She told the genie to leave the basket outside. As soon as the genie stepped outside with the basket, the mother poured a bucket of boiling water on him from the window. The genie cried out in pain and died on the spot. The three girls emerged from the basket and ran to embrace their mother. Now, with newfound wealth and happiness, their days of hardship were finally over. If you enjoy this story, then please like my video, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon for more new videos. Thank you.